Assalamu alaikum. This is Abdul Wasay here. I'm a student of BS Chemistry with Punjab University being the governing body. The topic of my lecture is Introduction to Organic Chemistry. It's gonna be very important for students of class 10 and 12. Organic chemistry, as we all know, is a very important branch of chemistry. It has a very vast scope. But our main focus is going to be introduction to organic chemistry, or you can say we want to lead ourselves to the modern definition of organic chemistry. This is going to be our main focus. So first of all, we will have a look at the contents of our lecture. First, we will start off with historical classification of organic compounds. Then we will discuss role of Antoine Lavoisier. Then we will discuss vital force theory, which is not only important for our basic concept, but it is very important for our exams. It is a very important short question. Then we will discuss rejection of vital force theory by Wooler and Colt. And then we will move on to our, we can say, the climax of our lecture, which is primitive and modern definitions of organic chemistry. So let's just get on with it. Historical classification of chemical compounds. First of all, we should know the basis of this classification. This classification is based upon origin and properties of chemical compounds. You can say that chemical compounds are classified into two main groups depending upon origin and properties. So we have two main groups, organic compounds and inorganic compound. Those chemical compounds which were obtained from living organisms were called organic compounds. The word organic signifies life, so this is very clear. And on the other hand, we have inorganic compounds. Those chemical compounds which were obtained from non-living or mineral sources were called as inorganic compounds. So you can see from these definitions that these are based upon the origin of chemical compounds. So next, we will move to the role of Antoine Lavoisier. When we have studied that organic compounds were considered to be obtained from living organisms, Antoine Lavoisier basically gave the concept of composition of these compounds. He showed that compounds which were obtained from plants normally contained carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and those compounds which were obtained from animals are composed of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus, etc. So he basically gave an overview of the chemical composition of organic compounds. This was his basic role. So next, now having understood, having learned that organic compounds were considered to be obtained from living organisms, this question comes to our mind, or should come to our mind, that why organic compounds were considered to be obtained only from living organisms. This is a very basic question which should come to our mind, and the basic answer to this question is vital force theory. Vital force theory is the best answer to that question. It is very important for our exams as well. Very important short question. I'm mentioning this again and again because when we see the past papers, this is a very important short question for the students of 10th class and for the students of 12th class. So it was represented by Jacob Berzelius in the early 19th century. I think we should have a very clear view about this theory. Basically, the chemists at that time, 200 years ago, you can say, tried to manufacture organic compounds in their labs, but they failed. So their failure led them to believe that there should be, you can say, a divine force, a mysterious force behind these chemical compounds. That's why they considered these chemical compounds to be obtained only from living organisms. This was, you can say, the basic concept, basic mentality behind this theory. So let's just get on to the next step, that how we should attempt this question. What should be the basic statement? So this is the statement. According to this theory, organic compounds could be manufactured only by and within the living organisms. And why is this so? Because they thought that these compounds could never be prepared in the laboratories because they were supposed to be synthesized under the influence of a mysterious force called the vital force.